Hello, dear listeners and viewers. My name is Monica Kuzminskaite. I'm health and nutrition psychologist, and this is my podcast that I call Spoonful of Reason. And this week we focus on psychobiotics. This, when scientific research was limited to identifying the connection between the gut and the brain, are over. We now know much more about this connection, and the term psychobiotics has been coined. The current view is taking shape that the gut is not only affecting the brain, but that the gut is a bioreactor of neurochemicals that control our cognitive and emotional state. In recent years, research has increasingly focused on metabolic psychiatry. This line of research focuses primarily on microbial metabolites, molecules that are produced by bacteria that can cross the blood-brain barrier. Not all substances can reach the brain from the rest of the body. This barrier protects the brain from harmful substances. It was once thought that this barrier did not allow anything to pass through at all. The so-called leaky gut, leaky brain theory is gaining more and more support. It states that if the inner wall of the intestine is damaged due to the poor diet or chronic stress, cytokines and lipopolysaccharides that promote inflammation enter the bloodstream. These molecules increase the permeability of the blood-brain barrier, causing inflammation of the nervous tissue, which is considered to be the main cause of drug-resistant depression and so-called brain fog. The vagus nerve is considered to be the main signal transporter in this structure. Studies have shown that probiotic bacteria Lactobacillus rhamnosus affects GABA receptors in the brain. In animal experiments, damage to the vagus nerve eliminates the positive effects of these probiotics in reducing depression. That's not the end. We know more about the effects of different bacteria. Lactobacillus helveticus reduces cortisol levels and alleviates symptoms of depression and anxiety. Bifidobacterium longum reduces perceived levels of emotional stress and strengthens the neural connections in the brain that process emotions. The brain produces more substances that reduce neurological inflammation, which in turn reduces anxious behavior. Substances produced by Lactoplantibacillus plantarum bacteria increase dopamine and serotonin levels in the frontal lobe of the brain, which improves attention and motor coordination. Bifidobacterium infantis improves hippocampal function and reduces brain inflammation, which regulates the production of tryptophan. Tryptophan is substance needed to produce serotonin, and serotonin is associated with feelings of happiness and joy. Here, it probably is worth mentioning once again that 90 to 95% of serotonin is produced in the gut, but it doesn't reach the brain because it cannot cross the blood-brain barrier. However, in addition to other functions unrelated to mood, intestinal serotonin also affects the level of tryptophan produced in the brain, which is needed to synthesize serotonin in the brain. Lactococcus lactis supports effective serotonin production in the aging brain and promotes neurogenesis by stimulating the production of BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Akkermansia muciniphila produces short-chain fatty acids that strengthen the blood-brain barrier function and protect the brain from inflammation. Bifidobacterium breve reduces neurological inflammation and improves attention and language scores in infant brains. Clostridium butyricum alleviates symptoms of depression and improves sleep quality. In summary, improving intestinal health by ingesting more of the probiotic or specifically psychobiotic substances directly reduces brain inflammation and improves brain health. In order for all these bacteria to live in the intestine and do their good job, it is important to eat foods containing probiotics. The best sources of probiotics are kefir, and not just any type of yogurt. Also sauerkraut, kimchi, fermented soybeans, natto, also kombucha and miso. It is important to consume fiber, which these bacteria feed on. And the best sources here are Jerusalem artichokes, slightly unripe bananas, chicory roots, dandelion leaves, leeks, onions, garlic, and crushed cocoa beans or cocoa nibs. Polyphenols, which protect the health of the intestinal wall, are also necessary. Good sources are blueberries, olive oil, walnuts, and green tea. It is also highly recommended to avoid substances that disrupt the health of the intestinal microbiome, such as emulsifiers, artificial sweeteners, specifically saccharin and sucralose, and excessive amounts of alcohol. Last but not the least, it is also worth allowing the intestines to rest at night. That is, to have at least 12-hour period of not eating every day. So this is the short summary on the latest research focusing on psychobiotics. I'm Monica Kuzminskaite, health and nutrition psychologist. I write, I give lectures, and I provide psychological counseling. You will find the link to register for counseling session in the comment of each post. And you will find my posts on social media, either searching for my name or keyword Spoonful of Reason. Drop me a message on social media if you have any questions or comments. And meanwhile, I'm wishing you peace and serenity.